Welcome back to the Internal Threat Desk. My name is Dr. Stacy Tyler, and I'm here to bring you some pertinent information about airport security. So let's get started. The first topic I want to bring to you that's in the news, workers for airline airport contractors endure job turmoil. So that's amazing. It's because my book that was just launched in October 2020, The Internal Threat, the Community Behind the Security Checkpoint, definitely brings this topic and shines this information in the book, which job protection is key in this article. Temporary health insurance was offered to airline and airport contractors simply because of COVID-19. In Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport, there are 63,000 workers at the airport. 40% of those workers are airline employees, and 13% of those workers are government employees, such as TSA, city and state, and federal TSA and Customs and Borders. Now, the reason why this conversation is so important is because half of those workers are contractor employees, which the training and the benefits are totally different from legacy carriers. And that's in my book. Those employees are restaurant workers, janitorial workers, wheelchair. They also clean the airports. There are also airline employees. And that means that they don't have the same job protection as airline employees. Now, last year in March, when COVID-19 was experienced, the legacy carriers, United, Delta, and American Airlines received $1 billion stimulus package simply because of not being able to lay off the workers, whereas the contractor employees were furloughed. So that means that 5,500 workers were furloughed and laid off. That means no job protection. That means what happens to the traveling public? Who's cleaning the planes? Who's working? Who's keeping the traveling public safe? So as the traffic, hopefully the passenger employments increase, as the vaccinations come out, that those contractor employees will be hired back and they will be trained properly and have the job protection to keep the traveling public safe. Now, the other story I want to bring to you are guns at the airport, specifically the Philadelphia International Airport. Now, within weeks, 3 weeks, there were 3 incidences where 3 workers brought guns to their job. One was a restaurant worker who gained access to their job function through security checkpoint, where the gun was detected at Terminal B, which the employee stated that he forgot that he had his gun on his possession, on his person. The other employee was a contractor employee who actually penetrated the security checkpoint, security access point with his SITA badge and was detected on the air side for a random security check. Another employee received security protocol by the security checkpoint where he had a gun in his possession. Why is this happening where airline and airport employees are bringing guns to work? Wow, that's something that we have to keep our finger on the pulse. The next story that I want to bring to you is so amazing. A 36-year-old man went undetected for 12 weeks, 3 months at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport. A 36-year-old man from California flew into Chicago and didn't want to continue on his trip to India because his visa was getting ready to expire, found a lost SITA badge, and lived behind the security checkpoint. That means behind the security checkpoint. How can that be? Well, it can. There's two folds to this. For airline employees, it can happen. Chicago's a big international airport, and workers fly in all over the country just to work. And that means that if I live in Philadelphia, New Jersey area, and I work in Chicago, I'm considered as a commuter. So there are areas underneath underneath the airport on the ramp area where you have break rooms, you have showers, you have bathrooms, you have lounge areas that this can happen. As a traveler, it is heard of that a person can live behind a security checkpoint with a lost SITA badge. Well, this lost SITA badge was an airport operations manager who lost his SITA badge and reported it the day before the passenger actually arrived in Chicago. So that meant that this person had access to every door possible at the security and in the Chicago International Airport. Each SITA badge is color coded and it has an expiration date according to your work area and your job function. So this man had access to every door. Although the badge was, disarmed, that he was unable to gain access, he was still able to go through any TSA security checkpoint because it was valid. That's the key. That's how he was able. And not only that, he piggybacked. If somebody was going through another door, he just piggybacked, and that's a violation of the security protocols. The Chicago Department of Aviation deemed this passenger that he did not pose a threat. Who doesn't pose a threat? 9/11 happened. There's terrorists out there. How can this not pose a threat? We got some issues with this story. Even if the person had surveillance cameras, and if he tried to access a door by using this lost SITA badge, that the door will alarm. But even if the authorities would even try to find this person, there's no record of this individual. And with the COVID-19 protocols, with the mask, there are ways that to ID the person from the badge, the SITA badge, to the person, you have a mask on. So it will be very difficult. So this person evaded the security checkpoint processes by having this lost badge. And guess what? I guarantee you that he didn't act alone. My name is Dr. Stacy Tyler, and I'm here to bring you more pertinent information in the days and the months to come. My book, The Internal Threat, The Community Behind the Security Checkpoint, just released on Amazon, #1 international bestseller. Get your copy on Amazon. It's an ebook, hardback, and paperback. Again, my name is Dr. Stacy Tyler. Be blessed and be safe.